Hello my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and surprise surprise, welcome to a fresh episode of Jamii Conservation Park. I'm going to get into how I've managed to get this working in a moment my friends. It is a temporary fix, I'm going to throw that out there, but if you missed last week's zoo tour, I will link it above for you now my friends. Be sure to go and check that zoo tour out. It was pretty goddamn special, I will say that. It was so good to look at the zoo. It's a long video but an enjoyable one. Now today we are back my friends and I actually have a fresh episode of Jamii Conservation Park for you. Basically last week I let you know sort of like the future of the series, and a little bit of it was more that I was kind of waiting for a patch because I think there's something seriously wrong with Planet Zoo as a game rather than just a JCP. It seems to affect bigger projects, but for whatever reason, to cut a long story short, my saves weren't updating properly whenever I was working on the project. So I did say last week that I was going to take a little bit of a break, but yours truly has managed to kind of get around it by emptying the park of guests. It's very, very strange, ladies and gentlemen, but I just tried it. I just thought there's got to be something. I see someone put it on the forums, so I emptied the park of guests. I did work, I was saving every sort of 30 minutes just to make sure, and it seems to have got round the problem. Now, it's not ideal for the series because we rely on our guests for money, but what I did was I made a mental note of how much money we had as I closed the gates of the zoo. I then saved, I then put that money back in, any money that we lost. And I'm basically, for the next probably 2 or 3 episodes until there is a potential patch or I can get around this problem, I'm just going to work on things that need working on, like the wall in the gift shop, like finishing off the wolf and the bear area, and updating areas of the zoo. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing for the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks, I would say. So we're still going to have our Sunday episodes of JCP, which is, I'm sure everyone will agree is amazing because, Sundays are saved for Jamii Conservation Park on Planet Zoo. And yeah, so I'm basically going to show you what I've done today, my friends. Now, on the screen right now, you're going to see pictures of the Reptarium. This is the before. You're about to see an after, my friends. We have moved forward in time. That should be said. We've unlocked Zone B from a long time ago. That was, I don't know, it was like a month or so that episode went out. But we unlocked Zone B, so we do have some space to work with should we wish, as and when those problems are solved. But yeah, you'll see these pictures on the screen, and this is, the Reptarium before the improvements, my friends. And when we are finished looking at those pictures, you're going to see the brand new Reptarium, basically. I just felt like this was an area of the zoo that needed a little bit of work, and so that is what I have done, my friends. So here we are. This is the brand new Reptarium. Now, on the surface, it doesn't look like a lot has changed, but when we dig deeper, you're going to see there's actually been wholesale changes to this part of the zoo. It's very, very strange, by the way, to look at JCP with no guests in it. Usually 4,000 people are wandering around, enjoying the animals, and all we've got now is staff. Now, as you're going to see, the car park, it's still here. I've decided to keep this here. I did toy with taking this out because a lot of people have said, maybe that would get ripped out to make space for a habitat, which I do to some extent agree with, but we do still have this entrance, and so I still want there to be our guests to have the ability to just come to this part of the zoo should they wish, because that was a plan that we put in place very early on where the series was concerned. Our ticket office is still the same. I've decided not to upgrade the ticket office. I actually quite like this sort of old school feel to this ticket office as compared to the one over on the main entrance, but a few things have changed. The ticket machines now, we've got some more here and here. What I have done is I've got rid of the old vending machines because we now have the in-game ones, and I've hidden ATMs behind these ticket machines so that our guests look as though they are using them, but they're like your e-tickets if you've ordered before you'd come to the zoo. Our entrance is still the same as well. Nothing has changed there, but this is a big change, ladies and gentlemen. The outside area of the Reptarium near Jareth Nater's Reptile Centre. There used to be a playground here we ripped the playground out. I decided to tear that down to create space inside the main reptile centre building. The Aldabra tortoises have now come outdoors. These would go off-site anyway because they would hibernate, I should say. Wow, I'd love to know what hibernating is. But yeah, they would hibernate. So we just need to create some space for them at some point. Someone did write in a comment recently that maybe this could be something that was joined on to the animal hospital. Animals and stuff that would hibernate could go over there in a separate wing and so on, which I really like that idea, and it is something that zoos do. So yeah, we ripped that out and we've basically put the Aldabras outside. The two adult, the breeding pair, are out here. We absolutely love it. It's not huge enclosure. It doesn't need to be because they're tortoises at the end of the day. The building was quite a chore. I'm going to throw that in there because we wanted it to be small, and trying to get stuff to be small in this game is not easy. But yeah, as you will see, there's loads of little details and whatnot. This is the way into the building, and you come around the back. So there is a little keeper part, but also there is an indoor section for the Aldabras to get away and to chill out and stuff. So yeah, that's basically their holding now. That's their new habitat. You will see they've got all the usual stuff in: education, donation. But what's really nice about it is that this sits on the brand new seated area. Now, we ripped all of the planting out, basically. There used to be these plant beds around the edge of this. We ripped all those out because it created so much space. We've been able to get five seated benches and stuff in around this now central tree to try to bring a bit more shade to the area, because this was a very open part of the zoo. So yeah, we got a bit more shade there now. We've got some brand new planters here, so this is like a nice little section that you could sit and you look over and you can see the Aldabras here, and you can't really see the Galapagos tortoise. You could see them coming in and out should you get lucky, but it's just a cool little place to sit and have your lunch now, basically. You will see I've taken the education off of the wall here. They just looked awful. At the end of the day, the more you play the game, the more you learn how to disguise things. And unfortunately, I just couldn't disguise them here. So I've ripped them off the wall. They've been put elsewhere now. We do have the vending machines in. They've been there a while. But the restaurant has had a big overhaul, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm now finally in love with this restaurant. As you can see, the floor has been tiled. That's a big change. We now have this one big bench that goes all the way along. We've got two of the shades of green that are synonymous with the zoo. And I thought it was the perfect place to put that inside the Reptarium. Obviously, the windows have slightly changed. We've got this deviation to the wall. I want to try to create a piece of art to go on this wall, similar to what I did over in the North American restaurant, the Vista restaurant. I want to try to do something like that on this wall, but I just basically run out of time before Sunday was coming around, so I haven't been able to do that. But hopefully I'm going to be able to get some sort of homage to maybe Toby or one of the animals at the zoo there. As you can see, it's all looking pretty good, isn't it? It looks so much cleaner now. That's the big thing. It looks a lot cleaner. Still got our benches and tables and stuff in. Brand new lighting. I ripped all the lights off the ceiling. Honestly, this restaurant looked awful. It looked like it was genuinely the first thing I'd ever built on the game. That's kind of what it looked like. And obviously, been playing this game for well over a year now, and everybody improves at stuff when they play a lot of it. And I feel like I'd improved enough to kind of give this restaurant the overhaul that it deserved. And I do really, really like it. And especially once we get that piece on the wall, it will really, really finish it off. But yeah, absolutely in love with the restaurant. So that's that, my friends. Like I say, that's the outdoors. They're the changes. Obviously, brand new sort of education things just to bring it a bit more up to date. We've got the bin over here, donation bin. Now, I have put an educational talk point here. Now, I need to find a way to disguise these potentially, because I don't actually like the way they look, but I'm happy to just deal with him for now. And I've just placed one in here. The reason I've put one over at the Galapagos is obviously Toby is the star of the show. He's the reason the zoo exists. So I wanted people to be able to listen. And I put it here because this is sort of the widest piece of the path out here. We don't want to be bottlenecking any guests and whatnot. Now, I have changed the direction that this reptile centre moves in. This is actually the entrance now. and this is the exit. The reason I've done that is this just flows a lot better if you go in and out that way. You can come and have a look at the Aldabras, walk on past, you get to see the Galapagos potentially inside, you go out there and you can still get a little look before you go off into Croc Corner. I quite like the way that it flows now. It flows a lot better. Now, there have been big changes inside this reptile centre. Please, for all of the originals, for the OGs who loved how this looked, please approach it with an open mind, and I pray that you all like it, my friends. But anyway, let's dive on in to the Giraffinator reptile centre, and as you're gonna see, the first thing you're met with is the caiman habitat, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm still not at 100% happiness with this. I'm probably at about 90%. I think the biggest issue with it, I'm going to show you it all in a moment, but the biggest issue with it is this part. And it's just because there's windows here. Now, I don't want to rip the windows out because of symmetry and whatnot, but I would rather raise this up. So I need to find a way of doing that and disguising the window. But it's not terrible. It really isn't terrible, but I'm not too happy with that piece there. The rest of it, I'm relatively happy with. But yeah, this is our new caiman habitat, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see all of the sort of education boards have all had a massive update in here. We've gone with this new sort of faux tree, some moss and vines and whatnot. The planters have all been, rejigged and things like that. But it's quite a nice sort of open area, this, for the caiman, because I can imagine they're going to be quite a popular animal here at the zoo. But just so you can get a good look at the habitat, ladies and gentlemen, this is, if you were a zookeeper, this is your way in. I think a piece seems to have gone missing there. So am I happy that the problems are diverted? No, I don't think they're completely diverted, but they're getting there. They might not have, though. To be fair, it might just be that I deleted a piece by accident, but whatnot. But anyway, we've got this little planter here. This is the way our zookeeper would go up into the habitat, basically. And then, yeah, the pool is kind of like capped off around here. The caiman can walk around. This is where they can eat and whatnot. There is actually a food tray underneath this piece here. So that's how they eat, and they walk around the back, and then they do have their pool as well. Now, I wanted the pool to be deeper and a bit different, just so that the guests could get a very different look at this animal to what they get of the gharial that are around the other side, basically. Now, I did try my hardest to make this so that they caiman could dive, but to make animals dive in the game, it needs to be at least 4 meters deep, but the square also needs to be 4 by 4 meters in diameter as well, and I just couldn't achieve that, unfortunately, inside this habitat. So we will just deal with them swimming and bobbing around on the top, and we will attempt to get the diving right when we eventually get round to doing the otters at some point. But I put this tree in as well. You're going to see the roots all go down into the water. It's really a really cool design. I didn't go too over the top with the underwater plants or whatnot. I've done them all towards the back as well. But yeah, it's a pretty good habitat. I like the fact it's nice and green. I've gone with the go away green. I did cover the walls in plants. It looked not very nice, so I changed all that up, and so yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think maybe a bit more moss just hanging around in places, and I think we will definitely complete the look. But that is the caiman, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you turn around, you're going to see we've gone for a big overhaul in here. All the lighting's been changed on the ceiling. All the walls have been changed. All of the casings to every single habitat's been changed. We ripped out the educational room with the big giant snake skeleton. That's been replaced with some new animals. It's a very different experience now. So as I say, planters moved, bins have moved, all this stuff. It just makes more sense now that things are like hidden and the walkways are free. Even the floor has been changed. We've gone with this huge sort of tiled floor design. Where you see stuff like this, a lot of the time there's benches hidden inside, so you will from time to time see guests potentially sitting on the rocks, and it looks really cool and a bit more natural. Like I say, education, donation, making sure that I keep all this stuff in. These are all brand new, basically matching these up with the way we did it over in the tropical house. Basically, I just think the design is so much nicer. I might put a pot in the middle with a plant in it, and I might maybe put a planter here just to kind of finish it off a little bit, because I just feel like that corner there's a little bit bare. But yeah, this is the iguanas are still here, the animals haven't changed, but yeah, you get your education, you get, you know, your little bits of information you can learn. These all play sort of animal sounds, so inside here, when we are obviously rocking and rolling, you'll be able to hear sounds of the rainforest and stuff like that. So yeah, I've really paid a lot of attention to that sort of stuff. Obviously I know this is a very white wall, some people might not like it, but it's just the way that I'm sort of separating it with these pieces, and I think the experience is more about what you see straight away with your eyes. Maybe we could do with some like more education on here, similar to the one we've got around the corner, and it might be something for me to make. But yeah, if we carry on walking around, ladies and gentlemen, you will see the planter is here. Needs a few more plants in it. Like I say, there's a few things I didn't get to finish, unfortunately. Another tree. I really like this tree and the way it sort of grows and whatnot. It looks as though it's growing and stuff. I've changed all the colour to the Galapagos tortoise indoor section. We put this nice little mural on the wall as well. Couldn't put it this side because a few problems with the door, but the go away green still looks nice, and it's kind of sandwiched between the trees. Anyway, this is a brand new section. Believe it or not, this was the education room, which is now gone. We're going to do a huge sort of educational centre at some point, and we'll probably put all of that stuff over there. I was thinking about when we do our main restaurant, which is probably going to be quite central in the zoo, we will put the education centre like next door, and we'll just do this big hub of like amazing things. But obviously that's going to be a long time, and a long stretch until we get there. But yeah, these are the more sort of arid desert based animals, and so we wanted our own little section for them. Unfortunately we could only fit the 4 in here, so the gear monsters are still round the corner. Pride of place in their 360 habitat. That's been changed anyway, but yeah, this is just sort of like the desert area. Now this is what I was saying about the education. I bought them indoors and sunk them in the wall, and they just look far nicer in here, ladies and gentlemen. I really like the way that's turned out. So yeah, you got your education there, but again, you walk inside, your animals are, you know, either side. Got your little bit of information, your education boards, and obviously it plays like sounds of the desert and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool actually. It's quite a cool like experience now, and I just think boxing all these in, it just looks so much cleaner, and it just looks a lot more sort of professional. I knew I'd done something there, so yeah, let's just come off. But yeah, I like the sort of arid plants as well. I would like to get a few more of them in. If I can, like I might put another sort of like a larger one at the back there, and put some more sort of arid plants and whatnot in. I'd like to do like a desert house if I can, see if what animals we've got that might be able to work in that sort of environment. But yeah, again, more trees, more rocks. You know, it does peter out. They're not all over the place. Because it could just get a bit out of hand, basically. But what I've tried to do with the rocks and the trees and that is try to sandwich things like the bins in against them, so they look like they're part of the habitat. Again, look, another bin there, and it's all sandwiched in with the rocks and stuff. We kind of finished this little bit off here with a tree. We do have the sort of donation bin for our Galapagos. Now, my idea here eventually is I'm going to put some vines across there and across there. This sort of moss stuff, we're going to pull some down here. We're going to make this this little bit like very sort of like it feels like you're walking through a little bit of a jungle. We had a different tree here. I've put information on this one, but it didn't really work anymore, unfortunately, that other tree design that we had, but instead I've just replaced it with this. But again, we work our way around with the rocks and with the planting and whatnot. Again, a nice tree in the middle. And it's all just done. It's all very symmetrical. It all looks really clean. And yeah, it's just like a nice mix of colours, basically. I do like the half and half in here. Some people might think that I'm using that theme a little bit too much, but it works in this building, in my opinion. This has just been left white for a reason. I will come to that in a moment. But yeah, as you can see, planting around this side. So yeah, from different angles, the build looks completely different. Like if you look at that from this angle, it looks stunning because of all the planting and whatnot. And it just looks really cool, doesn't it? And I'm absolutely in love with it. All the lighting as well just works so much better. It's a lot more flawless now. But yeah, we walk around. None of this stuff's changed. It's still an in and out there. There's a bench hidden in this one. These are the gear monsters. I went with the desert colour rather than the brown, and I think it's nice because you get this sort of change of colour in the middle. Now I've separated the gift shop by just using the green that's synonymous with the zoo, and we've got our little gift shop area now. It actually feels like it's a little gift shop area. I should really as well have brought your attention to the floor over here. We separated it with a very sort of similar design, and we went with more like a white grout in here just to make the floor pop. But yeah, it's just really, really cool how it changes. And then a big change is obviously that of the Gharials. Now, this went for a massive overhaul, the Gharials. It took me some time to do this, but I do think it looks amazing now. We've obviously got our Gharial information board here. And then here we've got like some details on like the scales and stuff that you would find on the Gharials, and some information there. The donation box is here. As you can see, it's a bit I didn't get to finish, so I want to put some rocks there basically and make it look like it's sort of all part of it. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. It does look pretty nice. I got rid of this piece in the middle, so instead we now have this like bar here instead, so there's a lot more glass, and there's actually a lot more swimming pool for the Gharials because the inside of the Gharials has had a massive overhaul as well. Now, as you can see, I've replaced that concrete pool with this more natural rock feel. Now, I haven't ripped all of the rocks out at the back. I might do it at a later date, but it's just so much work, and I just thought it was unnecessary work because these colour matches are not too far off, and they actually work all right. So I didn't want to go too crazy, but yeah, if I rotate round, you'll get a view of the pool, and it does look so much nicer. We've got plants, a few more plants in the pool. We've got some plants that sort of along the edge of the pool, you know, some plants here. I do want to put a few more sort of scattered around, like as if they were growing out of the rocks and stuff. I want to basically take a few of these out. I think it's actually a bit too heavy over here. But yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. I think it's turned out nice. Changed the colour on the walls as well. That helped massively. This more mint green is a lot nicer than going with that dark green. But yeah, I just think the Gharials have a really, really lovely pool now. If it will let me dive, there you go. This is what it looks like underneath. So yeah, it's just a lot more natural. And they do use it, which is great to see. And again, guttering just grates and stuff in case you ever need to dredge the pool. But yeah, that's it basically. That is the brand new reptile house. Do let me know in the comments what you made of that. Now, that's not it. The Reptarium goes a lot deeper than just the Jarrathnator reptile house and the restaurant. It really, really does. But that's the initial part done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. And I do hope you have enjoyed that. Now, if we work this away towards Croc Corner, you're going to notice a few changes around here as well. Now, first and foremost, we've added a point here for some ice cream. I believe that one is, because we don't actually have ice cream over this side. So we've added some ice cream here. Now, the outdoors of the Gharials, nothing's changed. It's still the same. I attempted to make the pool deeper, because they only have this small deep section and they probably could use a bit more, but I just couldn't get it, you know, how I liked it. Basically, it didn't feel smooth like the Salties one over here. So unfortunately, I'm just going to have to leave this pool as it is, unless at some point I just rip the whole thing out and try to redesign the outdoors. But I really like the outdoor areas of both the Gharial and the Salties, so I didn't want to go too mad. As far as the Salties are concerned, the actual habitat hasn't changed too much, but we have changed the way everything works over here. So basically, they've got a brand new house. You're probably going to notice that first and foremost. It's a lot it looks a lot bigger because it's not an L shape anymore. Instead, we put this section on the front. Now, keeper entrance. There is a door here. So basically, we put this door here because, you know, if the animals are being transported out, it's probably how it would happen, basically. In and out that door, out this way. You can still go out the back as well. You can go out this way and here. But this is actually how our zookeepers get in the habitat now. Completely changed the way that works. And it actually has helped massively in the giving the animals the ability to move around the habitat a bit more freely, getting them in and out if there's ever any problems. The building just wouldn't let us. It probably would now. But I wanted to get rid of that entrance that the keepers had so we could open up a bit more space. And I think I've achieved it, basically. So it's really low-key in here. There's not much going on, just some food and some bedding and whatnot. Heat lamps and that. It's really, really low-key. It doesn't need to be much more than that. And then, like I say, the outdoors, it hasn't changed hugely. I was considering taking this little ledge out and just making it a really, really big, deep pool. And I might still do that at a later date. It would be really, really easy to do it. But for now, I've just kind of left it the way it is. But yeah, it is a slight change. It was a real task to get this to work, because you can go 4 metre path to this point here, but then you've got to go 2 metres here because of how skinny this is. So yeah, it was a bit of a task to get it to work, but it does work, and it works quite beautifully, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way Croc Corner has turned out, basically, and especially that saltwater habitat. As far as the peacocks are concerned and the wild gardens, nothing has changed. Mr. Peabody is still alive. I'm not sure where he is, but he is still alive. Oh, there he is. He's on the... Is that him? No, that's not him, is it? It might be. I'm not sure. No, I don't think it is. He's around somewhere, though, and he is still alive and kicking, which is in itself still baffles me to this day. But yeah, the wild garden still absolutely beautiful and working an absolute treat. Now, we are now at John M's Monitor Manor. There's been a huge upgrade on the inside of this one as well. We've actually opened it up a bit more for the monitors, and just done a big overhaul, basically, because I think it needed it. Outdoors, not a lot has changed. I have put a vending machine in over here, though, just to maximise those profits, because I think it would go there. I think it's actually a good place for it, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's work our way inside John M's Monitor Manor. But yeah, this is the new John M Monitor Manor. Now, you're going to see there's a few little bits that have not been finished, ladies and gentlemen, but it is pretty much there. It is pretty much there. Now, I'm not going to go with any fake rocks or fake trees or any of that stuff in this one. I want this to be a bit more of a different experience. I want it to be a little bit cleaner, a bit more sort of easy on the eye, because it was a bit more of a newer facility. But this wall in the middle has changed. This here used to be an exhibit box, and I ripped that out. We ripped the wall down, and we've basically made the monitor lizards habitat a bit bigger, give them a bit more space, which is nice. You will see all of the fascias have all changed. We ripped out all that ugly wood, and we've gone with a very similar design to what we've got over the other side. And again, we've gone with that half and half, but this time different colour, and we've gone with different lighting systems. So as you can see, we've got nice spotlights above each of the habitats, and then you'll see the bigger lights in the middle. So it is slightly different, and we didn't do the half and half on this wall either, just the walls that you would view the animals. So yeah, it is slightly different, but I think we managed to pull it off. I moved this planter, it was over here, but I moved the planter, so now you can see these animals from both sides. But yeah, let me show you a bit more sort of like in detail of what we've done. So yeah, as you can see, we are going to have more information over here. You will see a lot more space for our monitors, and down here chilling, basking under their little lamp, which is always good to see. The lamp actually needs moving back. Okay, I will do that, because this wall's changed. This wall used to be a further forward, basically, but it's all changed, basically. The structural sort of integrity of it all has all changed. As you can see, the wall is all different shapes and whatnot. This is actually not here the right way. So yeah, it's one of those things. I didn't check before going into today's episode. So yeah, we've actually added a nice little pocket of space over here, because the habitat used to end sort of here, basically, before, on the edge of these rocks, basically. So yeah, it's quite nice actually that we've added a bit more space for the monitors, and they might spend a bit more time like lower down now, which is what I would like to see, to be honest with you. The information's now in the middle. It's a very unique one, and then I ripped out that bit that was up the top because it just looked awful. And then we got this one here. And then the pool hasn't changed. That's still the same. Lots of information on the wall, different information, different types. Then your terrapins are in here. Again, we've gone with this sort of box design. Looks really, really nice. We've got 3 terrapins in here. You can see one there, one there. Them 2 swimming about. I don't know where the third one is. Could be a number of places, but yeah, pretty sweet, to be honest with you. And I like these. They actually are a lot more active than a lot of the other exhibit animals. So yeah, you've got your terrapins there. And then we go this way, and this is just your Komodos. I changed all of their sort of information boards. I felt like it needed it. All of the floor is all done as well. That's all unique now. Very similar to the other side, but these big, huge tiles on the floor. But I think we can all agree that it has been brought to life now, my friends, because to be honest with you, this was not a nice looking building on the inside, but now I'm a lot happier with it this way. Maybe a few more plants in here, and then we will be done and dusted. As you can see, the Komodos, nothing's changed. It's still rocking and rolling the way it always has. Now if you come around this way, the only change that's been made is that I've added an education point in, so we can now have talks on the animals around here. That's the only change I've made, but there is one change I might make. I might put a cover on this seating. My only issue is that every cover I've made, it just ends up being so high up in the air that you can just see it from back this way, and I'm not sure how much I like it, but I just feel like a cover is definitely needed for the area. And then you would go this way and you would exit off into Jamii, and that is it, my friends. That is the brand new Reptarium. Lots of updating, and I think we can all agree it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? I'm going to finish today's episode by doing a very quick sort of amount of zoo management, because we've got animals coming out of our backside where the breeding's just been going crazy during that jump in years. Basically, you're going to see 490,000 is what we got in the bank. I'm not going to press play. Usually I would press play when I'm doing this, but there's no guests in the zoo. We're not going to make any money, so there really isn't any point. We're only going to lose money, and we can't really afford to lose too much money at the minute. But I want to get through this animal management, because we've got animals that it's just crazy, basically. That's in a box. I'm not going to worry about boxed animals. I can do that afterwards. Now you're going to see that I've had to stop the breeding of our Aldabras. We have Aldabra tortoises coming out of our backside. Look at all the young Aldabra tortoises. Now I need them to reach maturity. Some of them are only a year old, some of them are 4.5. We've got one at 7 months, and then we've got these guys, look, 24 years old, and they still haven't reached maturity. Now this is the issue with the tortoises. It takes so long for them to reach maturity. But these guys might, they're 80s. They're in their 80s now, so I don't know how long we got left of those guys. But yeah, we cannot breed any more Aldabras. I wish you could trade away juvenile animals. I really, really do. But it is what it is. The bison numbers are stable. I've only got one young bison, which is a surprise to me. Oh no, 2 young bison. So even still, it is a surprise to me. Our camels, we've got our male camel, our 2 females, and then they've got a couple of youngsters. Now, this is an area that's a little bit concerning. Is that of the tapirs? Now we've got Patlia, who is elderly now, and a bit of me wants to move the young male that we've got, one of the young males that we've got. Is it outdoor? Oh no, it's the wrong way round. There's 2 females outdoors, and there's 2 males indoors, isn't there? Yeah, it's the wrong way. Basically, I wanted to keep one of the males basically behind, but I'm not going to be able to do it that way. But yeah, he's getting old now, so it is a problem. But you can see this guy here. I was thinking about moving him indoors. Oh, you're outdoors. Right, I got to work this out. So we've got, you're in the tropical house and you're outdoors. See, I was going to pair these 2 up outdoors because they're young. They're both like relatively young,
So I was going to pair these two up outdoors. Then we've got then we got the other two original females, here and here, yeah. And I was just gonna move one of them on, and I was gonna move the old male on, and then that would sort it out. And so rather than lose out on these young animals, we move some of the older ones on. Was how I was going to do it, basically. So this female here is pregnant, so I want to keep this female, but this male I'm going to move on. Unfortunately, we can't release him to the wild, so that is a problem. But we can trade him away though. So I'm going to send him to the. Yeah, I'm going to move you to the trade centre. This might take a little while, because I'm actually going to really take a good look at the animals that we've got. Because you have to understand, the more animals we've got, and especially animals that we potentially don't need to have, they're going to cost us money, you know. So I'm going to move him to the trade centre, and he's going to be off skis. We've got tropical house, but I'm not sure. They must be related. Because there was only one male in there, and I would imagine that was the one. You're in the tropical house, but we're going to put you outdoors with this guy. So this female here, I'm going to move on. Is what I'm going to do. You're inside the tropical house. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I was going to put these two together. You and you were going to move, but then we were going to be left with you two. But I think you're related, so you won't breed. So I think I might release you to the wild. Oh, you're pregnant. Of course you are. So you and you would be left with you. So we would have to get another male, wouldn't we? Oh, it's not working out how I wanted it to work out. I wanted to move the older ones on and keep the youngsters together. I'm going to release you to the wild. Whatever happens. Let's release you to the wild. Wrong one, Dan. Wrong one. Yeah, these are originals, and they're both pregnant as well. Let's move you to the outdoors area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the two pregnant females in the tropical house together. Now, I don't know if that's something that they would be able to do. I really don't, but I'm going to do it. So we're just having a little move around, basically, gang. Have the animals there. So that's that. So a little move about. And what we'll do is once they've had those two youngsters, we'll let those youngsters grow up. We'll deal with them. And then potentially we'll move one of the females on and keep one of the babies if it's a male, potentially. That's probably how we'll do that. So we'll get around that issue. I'm really not going to worry about the capuchins. I quite like the numbers. I quite like the fact that the numbers are growing. We've got our new Dwarf Caiman. We've got three guys here. We've got these two. I need to rename the exhibits. That is something I do need to do. So the Galapagos tortoise. We've got lots of youngsters. We've got one in transit as well, but there are some that can be moved off into the wild. Terry and Toby are the originals. So yeah, these two have reached maturity. They can go to the wild. Happy days. We release everything to the wild, by the way. Someone asked me this recently because we are a conservation centre. This is what we would do, especially stuff that is you know, struggling in the wild. Right. We had a bit of a problem with this. So there was inbreeding was going to happen, but the thing is, Amethyst and Jade are getting older, and so a bit of me wants to keep Hassini behind and actually move Khalid on, because these were our two original males anyway, and then we'll keep Iola and we'll keep Hassini because they're two young females. And once Amethyst and Jade are no longer with us, then they can become our breeding pair. And we'll move Zoro on and Jafari can take over. I think that's how it will work. I'm pretty sure Jafari wasn't bred at the zoo. Oh no, he was. Okay, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but Khalid is going to be moved on anyway. So let's move Khalid on. DJ Khalid. Anyway, right. Another one is the Gharials. Their numbers have gone mad, but you're going to see that both Shui and Ion are getting to the latter part of the years, and we did have another adult Gharial that has unfortunately passed away, so I'm going to be keeping potentially a couple of females behind and getting a brand new male, but there won't be any more breeding where they're concerned. The anteaters, so Jack is our male, and then the original female was obviously Diane. So yeah, this lady is going to be moved on, and I might keep Fernanda behind when Jack and Diane go, because Fernanda is top stuff. So yeah, let's release you to the wild. Lots and lots and lots to do. Lots to do. I'm doing it properly. You know, I don't want to mess this up. I want to keep all the strong animals, because eventually what I'd like to do is get this to a point where the majority of the animals were actually bred at Jamii Conservation Park. That's kind of where I want it. Now, Gear Monsters, it's a case of really moving on a lot of animals. I believe, yeah, those were the three, the oldest three. So we'll release all of those guys to the wild. Bum 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 bum. And yeah, the frogs are the same. So I always look for the youngest animals, and then usually I get left with the original 5. So female, 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 male, female. That's usually how it works out. So let's release all of those. So the frogs and stuff like that are so much easier to do in this situation. And this is something I know I could have done off camera, but at the end of the day, we do this together. We do this whole zoo together. Release those two. We don't need those guys anymore. Flamingos I'm not going to touch. They are breeding though. The numbers are getting a bit crazy, as you can see. We've got lots of youngsters back here. We've lots of males. Coming through. The Indian Peafowl I'm going to leave alone as well, because what we're doing is unfortunately we're waiting for the day that Mr. Peabody is no longer here, and then one of the two sons of Mr. Peabody, who are actually getting on a bit now, they're actually elderly, both of them, were going to get moved over, but I'm not sure. We've got a couple of more males here though that might be able to go across. We'll have to wait and see, basically. As far as the Jaguar, we've got this little lady who's gonna be released to the wild. That's a lot of conservation points you get for those animals, isn't it? Jaguars are the most popular animal at the zoo for anyone that's interested. And then we've got all of these Komodos. Now, Buddy is our new male. who has gone in with Diane. I took the liberty of doing that myself. So we are actually going to try to get a breeding program going again, because that nursery room is now, those 2 nursery rooms are empty because all of these Komodos have reached maturity. So let's move those on to the wild. Keep on going. So many animals at the zoo now. So many animals. Right, frogs. So we want to keep the original 5 if we can. Wow, there's lots of these guys. So female, male. Yes, lovely job. So release all of those. And again, I know I can do it quicker, everybody, but this is just how I do it, because then I know that I'm not getting rid of any animals that I shouldn't, because I've done that in the past. Monitor's fine. Monitor's actually getting quite old, so we might need to get a new monitor soon. We're never going to be able to breed monitors, unfortunately, because the habitat just isn't big enough to house 2. The pronghorn have gone crazy. Now, this is an area that's a real problem. Look how many lemurs we have. I'm going to have to do that off cam, because it really is going to take some deep thought to get through all of the issues facing the lemur population at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so those are original. So we've got female, male, female. We don't want that male. Female, male. We just want to be left with 5. So let's do that. And then I think that's it. I think the only thing left is the ringtails. So yeah, the ringtails, again, I need to have a good look at that. And then we've got our salties that are not quite at maturity yet, so we haven't got to worry about those guys. Bindi and Chandler are still doing well. We've got our wolf pack, which is doing all right. We've had a little pup born, which is good. And then, yeah, we've got our anacondas and our western diamond tips. And that is it. That is us done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. That's all of the animals all managed and up to date. Now, like I say, I'm not going to offer up a zone. I'm not going to do any of that stuff in today's episode. Main reason for that is that I don't want to be moving it forward a long time in case these issues that I've managed to get around crop up again. Plus, I would have to open the park. We have to get everybody into the zoo to be able to do it as well, and I don't know what that's going to do. So for now, until it's patched, what we're going to do is, for the next few weeks, like I've already said, I'm just going to leave it as it is and work away at all those little things that we need to do. Basically, just chip away at that list and tick stuff off and get it finished. What I want to say to you guys, though, I'm going to open this up to you so that you can get involved in the comment section. As you've seen, I've done a massive overhaul of the Reptarium and big update. Do let me know first and foremost what you make of the update. But second thing, do you think there's anywhere else in the zoo that needs an update to the same sort of degree that the Reptarium's had? Maybe an early exhibit, maybe something that that we did very early on that you might potentially think needs updating. Also, if there's anything you can think that does need finishing off the top of your head, then do let me know as well, and I'll be sure to add that to the list in case it's not already on there, my friends. But we are done and dusted. This episode has actually gone a lot longer than I at first anticipated. Probably that animal management bit at the end has sort of added on 10-15 minutes anyway. But yeah, do all the good stuff that you usually do. Like, share, subscribe, especially if you're new. Best way to support the channel. Check out the description box. You'll find stuff like Discord and socials. Become part of the bigger community, my friends. It's all well and good to watch the videos, but if you want to make some new friends, join the community and get heavily involved, that's the best thing to do. But yeah, I'm Oskies, my friend. Stay safe, stay humble, and I will see you all next Sunday for some more JCP.